everyone, welcome back to Bead World's channel. My name is Dorothy and I'm part of the teaching team here at the Bead World. Today we are going to talk about the proper way to finish off a stringing project. So to get started, let's first talk about some of what you're going to be stringing on. There is soft flex and there's soft touch. Either one is fine. We also have this in different colors. We've got brass, we've got copper, we've got some other colors such as white and navy blue. If you want the cord to show on your project, those are really pretty. But we're going to talk about how to close this off to where your stringing project will stay closed and it won't slip and it will last for many years. Probably the most often asked question I get when I'm in the shop is, why do my crimps not stay? So we're going to talk about jump rings, we're going to talk about clasps, we're going to talk about thimbles, wire thimbles, we're going to talk about crimps, and we're going to talk about adding some extender chain. So the basic tools that we're going to need for this project, and I went ahead and strung up some beads. The basic tools we're going to need for this project is a crimping tool, a couple of pairs of pliers, and the soft flex cutter. And by the way, guys, if you don't have one of these beading mats, they're 99 cents at beadworld.com. And these bead stoppers, I absolutely love. They're $1.50 at beadworld.com. Okay, so let's get started. So I've already got my project strung up. And what I'm going to do is teach you a couple of different ways to close the necklace. I mean, one thing that you do have to do is you have to crimp the necklace. And this could be a necklace or this could be a bracelet. What we're going to do first is we're going to take a crimp. Now, the three different sizes we have in our beading wire are fine, medium, and heavy. I use a 2x2 crimp on all three thicknesses. The thickness has to do with the size of your beads. I usually use a fine if I'm doing a 3 or a 2 or a 4 millimeter bead. If I'm doing a 6 or an 8, I usually use a medium. And then if I'm doing a 10, 12, 14, sometimes 16, I definitely will go to a heavy because you want the sturdiness of the beading wire. And you can see, guys, how flexible this beading wire is. I mean, it's extremely flexible. Okay, so let's take the end of our project and we're just going to scoop up and just sit him on our beading wire. And this is your crimp, and these are 2x2 crimps. And this one's sterling silver. We sell those online as well. I absolutely love it. The crimp you use does make a difference. I discourage people from buying silver plated crimps because you've got a base metal in the middle. You've got a plating on the outside and then you've got a base metal. That base metal can be hard and you're not going to get the adherence that you want to around your crimp. There's some decisions to make. So what I would do is, this is the time that you need to know what is going to be my clasp. Am I going to do a toggle? Am I going to do a magnet? And you've got these variety of clasps that you can use as well. So let's say for today's exercise, we're going to use this guy. Rather than use a jump ring, we're going to slide this right on our soft flex. And then we're going to take it and we're going to come back through our crimp, just like that. We're going to pull that crimp down, and you want to pull him down as close as you can, but you want some wiggle room here. You want your little guy to wiggle. And then all we're going to do, so if you noticed, I kept my thumb and my finger in between these two wires. To get a good adherence on your crimp, it is very important that those wires stay separated. Because if those wires are separated, and you're smashing down, you're going to get a really tight squeeze. If they're like this and you're smashing this way, you're not going to get as good of an adherence. So keep those wires separated and then just take either flat nose or needle nose pliers, and all you have to do is just squeeze him. And that is what is known as a flat crimp. Now, I'm a huge tester, so I will pull to make sure he's tight, and he is. And then you take your flex wire cutters and you cut him right here as close as you can. Okay, so we're at this point. Now the decision that needs to be made, do I or do I not want to put a crimp cover over it? There is nothing wrong with not putting a crimp cover over it, and this is what your finished project is going to look like. But if you decide you do want to put a crimp cover over it, super easy. All you have to do is take your crimp cover, and I call him Pac-Man. So take your Pac-Man, slip him onto your flat crimp, get him turned right here. And then you're just going to start with a light squeeze. And that's going to be enough to get him started. And then what you're going to do all the way around then is you're just going to go around, and you see how he got crooked, and that's okay. I'm going to show you how to fix that. You just continue to squeeze him all the way around. So let's go back to where I made the boo-boo. All you have to do is put your two together like that, and you see how you align him back up, and then just give him some more nudges, and there you go. You've got a crimp cover added. So now he looks like a little bead on the end. Okay, so now we're going to add our second crimp, and in this crimp, what we're going to do is we're going to do a round crimp, and we need our crimping tool. The nice thing about this crimping tool is if you look closely, you'll see where you've got two holes when you close it. This one has a little indent or outdent in it. It's like a little heart. And then this one is more oval. So we're gonna do this one first, and then we're gonna do this one second. I went ahead and put my crimp on, and now we're also gonna talk about us adding a wire thimble. And we're just going to push the wire up one side, and then we're gonna take our fingers and we're going to push the wire down the other side. Don't worry about the crimp, just let him hang out down there. He's getting to know the beads. You've got this metal here that's in between your beading wire and what you're going to use on the end. Now we can do a variety of things here. We can do, if we want to add extender chain, we can put that on, and this would be the time to do that if you want to be able to have your necklace or bracelet different sizes, different lengths. We also can add a closed jump ring here. This would be the time to do that. Or if you're using a magnet, you obviously want to put the other side of your magnet on. So for this one, we're going to do, let's do the extender chain. Just going to put the extender chain on, and he's just going to hang out down here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, with my fingers, I don't recommend you use a tool. I've actually dented these by using a tool. You just want to squeeze a little bit on your wire guard and close them up a little bit down there. And then we're going to do the same thing we did on the other one. We're going to put him back through there, and I'm sticking my thumbnail through there, then keeping them separated, because that's really important to getting a good crimp. And if you don't remember if you've got them separated right or not, pull him down a little bit and just push him back up. And then what I've learned is if you take and hold him here and pull, you will snatch him right up. So, and we've got him rounded. We're all set to go. Let's crimp. I've got my crimper. I'm going to use the second part first that looks like a little heart, and I'm just going to put him in between here, and I'm going to squeeze. Now, see what that did? It separated my wires, so I've got one on each side, and it caused a little indent here, and it's caused him to kind of go up a little. So you want to work with that. You want to put these to the top. You want to take and come through with your second or your first loop, and you want to go sideways like this. And then you just want to squeeze. And what that did was round off my crimp. And now you've got a pretty rounded crimp. Just take him and I just squeeze him a little bit more right here. Test him to make sure he's good to go. Cut off your beading wire. And I've seen necklaces, I've done a lot of repairs in my life, and I've seen necklaces where someone will take this beading wire and push it back through these beads. That truly is not necessary. As long as you've got the proper crimping method done, that really isn't necessary. It adds no stability to your necklace. I'm a big tester. We've already talked about that. So I'm going to test again to make sure I have zero slippage on this bad boy, because if he's going to break or he's going to slip, I want him to do it now, not when I'm wearing him, not coming off and losing all my beads. Let's put on another crimp cover. I'm going to open him up just a little bit, and the way you do that is just stick your pliers in here and just open him up a little bit. Very carefully. You don't want to open him too much. There we go. See, now he's got a bigger mouth. Slip him on, and again, gently squeeze, just a little. and then you want to flip them around, and you want to squeeze a little more. The perfect crimp cover takes patience, so don't squeeze too much. So squeeze a little at each. See how I'm squeezing just a little each time? And see how he's coming together here? Now we have our crimp cover on. And we have our finished piece. So we've done a flat crimp with a crimp cover. We've done a round crimp with a crimp cover. We've added a wire guard. Here is your choice on the project that you're working on. And here we added our extender chain. So let's talk about, we don't really know whether or not maybe we change our mind and we really don't want that extender chain on there. I really wish I'd have put a jump ring. Simple to do. All you need to do is just cut your chain off. And now you've got this end. And you can do this whether you've done this way and no wire guard, or you've done this way and you do have a wire guard. All you have to do is take an open jump ring. Now, open jump rings come in two different varieties. You've got round ones such as this, and you have oval ones such as this. Either one works. The oval one has the split on the side, and I find it doesn't have a tendency to go around and round. However, sometimes that's not the look we want. So we go with the round one. And you just put your pliers on either side, and you're going to twist. You're going to put him in here, and you're going to twist him back. And as you're twisting back, push in a little bit, and you will feel him scrape. Look at him, make sure he's level on the top. And now you have just this part, and you can clasp into. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope that the tips about separating those wires. I tell everyone who says my crimps, my beading wire is not staying in my crimp, separating those two beading wires and crimping them the way I showed you seems to work every single time. So that separation of those wires is very, very crucial. If you like the tutorial and you like this video, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next videos coming up. They're going to be exciting. Thank you. Bye.